الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني يفقه قولي. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. Alhamdulillah, we have entered into the month of Sha'ban. And the Prophet ﷺ, he says in a hadith, Allahumma barik lana fi Rajab wa Sha'ban وَبَلِّغْنَا Ramadan. May Allah bless us in Rajab and Sha'ban and allow us to reach the month of Ramadan. To bless us in Rajab and Sha'ban in the month of Ramadan. And the Prophet ﷺ, as reported in Sunan Nisa'i by the companion Usama ibn Zayd radiallahu anhu, who is Usama the son of? We mentioned this before. Come on. Huh? The son of Zayd and who? Ayman. We talked about it in the last khutbah. They all come. Ayman was an Abyssinian woman. And Zayd ibn Haritha also came from that lineage. So, Bismillah. Use that one. Every day, mashallah. It's definitely not the driver, it's the vehicle. The hadith is reported by Usama ibn Zayd radiallahu anhuma. He said, Ya Rasulullah, لم أرك تصوم شهرا من الشهور ما تصوم من شعبان. Ya Rasulullah, I haven't seen you fast any month from amongst the months as I've seen you fast in the month of Sha'ban. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he responds to Usama radiallahu anhuma, and he says, ذَلِكَ شَهْرٌ, that is a month, يَغْفُلُ النَّاسُ عَنْهُ بَيْنَ رَجَبَ رَمَضَانِ. It is a month that many people are heedless of between Rajab and Sha'ban, or between Rajab and Ramadan. Rajab, we all know, is from Al-Ashhur al-Hurum. It is a sacred, holy month. Fighting is not permissible in it. And Rajab was the month of Isra wal-Mi'raj. Ramadan is the month of Quran. It is the month of Siyam. So Sha'ban comes in between these two big months. So a lot of people become heedless in it. And the Prophet ﷺ, he says, continuing, he says, وَهُوَ شَهْرٌ تُرْفَعُ فِيهِ الْأَعْمَالِ. It is a month that the deeds are raised to Rabb al-Alameen, to Allah Azza wa Jal. فَأُحِبُّ أَنْ يَرْفَعَ عَمَلِي وَأَنَا صَائِمٌ. And I love to have my deeds raised while I am fasting. I love to have my deeds raised while I'm fasting. And in regards to this, there's another hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. He says, مَنْ خُتِمَ لَهُ بِصِيَامِ يَوْمٍ دَخَلَ الْجَنَّةِ. Whosoever passes away prior to having fasted, so you fasted, you passed away while fasting, or you passed away right after fasting, or being a person of fasting, you enter into Jannah. This is the hadith of the Prophet ﷺ. And so Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, in his very famous book, Lata'if al-Ma'arif, he mentions some benefits from this hadith. He said, this hadith that we just covered, Ibn Rajab, he explains it, al-Hanbali, in his book, Lata'if al-Ma'arif. He says that this is a month that is valued in the sight of Allah because many do not give precedence to it. And so, when you worship Allah whilst other people are heedless, it holds value and virtue. Why? Because number one, in Ramadan, are you going to be fasting? You're going to be fasting. I'm going to be fasting. Inshallah. We're going to be coming in nighttime doing Qiyamul Layl. We're going to be doing a lot of things, and the whole community is going to be doing it. So it's not really a secretive ibadah at that point. But when you do lots of good deeds in Sha'ban, are the people going to know? If you fast in Sha'ban, are people going to know? No. And this is why even some of the Salaf, they used to hide their fasting so much. For example, some of them, they would take food from home and leave to work. On the way to work, they would give it in sadaqah. They would give it to somebody. And so the people at home, they thought, oh, he ate outside. He took his lunch and he ate it outside. And other people, the people outside would be like, oh, he ate outside. Oh, he ate at home with his family. That's why he's giving food. And so they would be that, to that extreme, they would hide their ibadat. So ibadat done in secrecy, they hold more value. That's why ibadah in Sha'ban is so virtuous. And another reason is because it is more difficult. Is it hard for anyone to fast the whole month of Ramadan? It's not. I can't think a time since I was, even before being baligh, even before puberty, where I didn't fast the whole month of Ramadan. Because it's just something that everyone does, and it becomes something that is very normal. Every house does it. Even children do it. Even some children at the ages of 8, 9, they fast the whole month of Ramadan. And nobody finds difficulty in it. It may be slightly difficult. But imagine fasting for a whole month outside of Ramadan. That'd be very hard. People are getting invites for lunch, and people are going out for food. There's breakfast here, there's lunch here. You're getting so many opportunities, and your nafs is always being called to it. Maybe your wife is eating, your children are eating. In Ramadan, nobody's eating, so it's easier. So it becomes more difficult. And this is the opinion of Al-Imam Al-Qarafi and As-Suyuti, that ibadat are rewarded based on the difficulty. Ibadat, you get more reward based on the difficulty of the ibadah. And Imam Al-Shatibi and Imam Ibn Taymiyyah, they say no. They disagree with this. They say it's not about the difficulty, rather it's about the action. Because difficulty is not something that's sought for in Sharia. Ad-deenu yusr. And they have many other evidences. But if we look at the evidences that say that difficulty is actually rewarded, right? We find that they say that the hadith, we all know this hadith. A person who has ease in recitation of Quran, he gets reward. He is with the angels and he gets 1 ajr. But the person يَقْرَأُهُ وَيَتَتَعْتَعُ فِيهِ وَهُوَ عَلَيْهِ شَاقٍ لَهُ أَجْرَانِ. The person who has difficulty reading Quran, he gets how many reward? 2 reward. A person who has ease in reading Quran, he gets less reward, page by page, than the one who has difficulty. Now, if I sat here and read Surah Al-Baqarah, it would take me 40 minutes. If someone who doesn't have that consistency with reading Quran sits here, it might take him the whole day for Surah Al-Baqarah. Who's getting no reward? The whole day, of course. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala looks at the effort that's put in. And the hadith, we all know that is reported by Jabir radiallahu anhu, that some of the companions, they wanted to move close to the masjid of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam. They wanted to move close to the masjid. The Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, he told them, stay where you are, because every single step that you take to the masjid, you are getting hasanat, your sayyi'at are being erased, and you are being raised in darajat. So, is there not reward in walking and having the extra mileage that they're putting in towards the masjid? Yes. So, of course, I think a balanced way is that you shouldn't seek to put yourself through major difficulty, but all ibadat requires effort. All ibadat and worship to Allah Azza wa Jalla requires that you put in some work into it. So it should be, of course, rewarded by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, he continues to state that when you fast in the month of Sha'ban, it's basically preparing you for Ramadan. Many people, you'll find in the first week of Ramadan, they complain, I didn't have my daily chai, I didn't have my daily coffee, I'm having, what's it called, when you don't have caffeine in your system, they have this, it's like a term for it. A withdrawal, yes. They have caffeine withdrawal. They're groggy all the time, they're cranky, they can't think straight for the first week of Ramadan. This is not how you should spend the first week of Ramadan. Every moment, every lahza in Ramadan is a gift from Allah Azza wa Jalla. There are people that wished that they could reach the Ramadan. They didn't reach it. How many people do we know that passed away this last year? Right? So every lahza in Ramadan is a gift. So in order to prepare for that, it's recommended to fast in Sha'ban, because your body will get accustomed to it. Your body will get used to it. That's why, what's the name of the month of Ramadan? What's it titled? Shahru? Huh? شهر القرآن شهر رمضان الذي أنزل فيه القرآن. The month of Ramadan is introduced as the month of Quran. The Salaf, they would call Sha'ban شهر القراء. They would call Ramadan the month of Quran, and they would call Sha'ban the month of the reciters. Why? Because the reciters of the Quran, they're getting ready for what? Taraweeh, Qiyamul Layl. The Salaf, they would do many khatmat of the Quran. Do you think someone who reads no Quran in the year can now pick up the Quran and do one khatma a day? Impossible. You have to develop that muscle. You can't just go in the gym and lift 315 pounds, Shaykh Hassan. يحتاج إلى سنوات. It takes time to get to that level. So similarly, it takes time to get to that level of ibadat. Imam al-Shafi'i and Imam Abu Hanifa, how many khatmas did they do in the month of Ramadan? 60. Khatma bil nahar wa khatma bil layl. They would finish the Quran 60 times. Has anybody here finished the Quran ever in one day? No? Yeah, see, Hafid Saab, he did it. I did it as well. It's part of the training for Hufal that they read the Quran every single day, a whole khatma, for a portion of time. That's to get the strength of memory. And my shuyukh, I literally remember my time in Medina, I knew teachers that were doing 2 khatmas a day. You think that they're just sitting and chilling the whole time. He's reciting the whole time. Entire time he's reciting. He's able to do 2 khatmas a day. Imam Abu Hanifa, Imam Shafi'i did 2 khatmas a day. Imam Bukhari, he used to do 30 khatmas. Imam Malik, what's he known for? Fiqh and Hadith. In the month of Ramadan, he would leave that and focus on the Quran. And so, the month of Sha'ban is the month for Qurra. So even for you and myself, start reading lots of Quran from now. Who has the intention of finishing the Quran in Ramadan? Come on, everyone should have their hands raised. Finishing the Quran in Ramadan. Why don't you start from Sha'ban? Is there something wrong in Sha'ban? Yani Allah only comes in Ramadan? No, Allah is also your Lord and my Lord in Sha'ban. And so if you have goals in Ramadan, start them now. So in Ramadan, you have less to accomplish. That's why it was called Shahrul Qurra. And Ibn Rajab al-Hanbali, he also holds the opinion, what's the best month to fast in? Come on, easy question. Ramadan. What's the second best month? Sha'ban. Sha'ban is the second best month to fast in after Ramadan. And this is because the Prophet ﷺ, he would fast every month. يَصُومُ وَيُفْطِرُ. He would fast and he would not fast. He would fast and not fast. But it is reported by Aisha radiallahu anha that the Prophet ﷺ, he did not fast any month more than he fasted in the month of Sha'ban. And the Prophet ﷺ, he was described by Aisha as though he fasted all of the month of Sha'ban. And in a hadith, the Prophet ﷺ in Sunnah Tirmidhi, أَيُّ الصِّيَامِ أَفْضَلْ بَعْدَ رَمَضَانِ يَا رَسُولَ اللَّهِ. What's the best fast after Ramadan? The Prophet ﷺ, he said, Sha'ban, تَعْظِيمًا لِرَمَضَانِ, in preparation and to get ready for Ramadan. And so this next month, we should enter into it, welcome it. May Allah bless us in the month of Sha'ban. The deeds in this month, at the end of this month, will be raised to Allah Azza wa Jalla. Do you not wish that Allah sees your deeds and He is happy with what His servant has done in the past month? Maybe you might have not been so practicing in the last year, now coming to the masjid as frequent, your ibadat were a little slacking. This last month is when it gets elevated to Allah. Make it elevated to Allah with tawbah and with increased ibadat. Because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, all of the deeds will be raised to Him at the end of Sha'ban or Nisf Sha'ban. And so I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bless us in Sha'ban and to accept from us our deeds in Rajab and to allow us to reach the month of Ramadan. وصلى اللهم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين.